Welcome back. We just saw a showcase of T2 versus T3, and now we're moving up a tier, Billy. We have T2 versus T2, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, look, I'll hold my opinion just yet. If we get another Oregon, that might dip a little bit. Hopefully, we get to something
true.
a little bit more exciting. But yeah, look, 7-1s are great and all, as long as they're the exception to the rule. We like those close matches, and with two teams like Investigation File and Reality TV, this should be a pretty close matchup. You'd imagine that we'd get a little bit deeper than 7-1. So I want to see what both teams have to bring coming into this tournament.
And of course, these two teams have played many a time in our past year of Challenger League, and they'll be meeting again here in SCS7. Of course, the last time they played, Reality TV, of course, they won because they went through the whole thing undefeated, and it was actually in Playday number 1 where they won 7-3 on Villa. Speaking of Villa, another map that I'm hoping we get slightly less of, considering how much we saw it in quals. But if we want to look at the rosters real quick, Investigation File, they've changed just a little bit. Wimpy, Inrio, CZ, and Fish all return, with Vivid stepping into the sidelines as kind of a sub slash coach, I believe. Arrow has rejoined this core after after Favelas has disbanded, and that's an interesting change. They dropped Arrow initially because they wanted to quote-unquote speed things up, and now they're picking him up again, and I'm hoping that it doesn't slow them down. I don't think it will, but I'm just saying.
Maybe it was a case of they're trying to speed up the comeback tour, get Arrow out so that he can come back and redeem himself as soon as possible. But yeah, look, roster moves are always interesting, especially in that tier 2 sphere. Things can get rather weird and wonderful, but look, obviously coming into this matchup, they're confident with what they've got. I mean, even my last couple of SCS casts, that was, I think, season 5. It was a good wee way back now, but I mean, I'm still remembering names like Arrow, like Wimpy, like Inrio as well coming into it. So those are names that have definitely stuck with me. So look, I'm expecting stuff. It has been a while since then, so hopefully they've improved, because the opposite would not be great.
Yeah, they definitely have since we saw them in Stage 2. And one of those reasons, Billy, is a name that you might not be as familiar with. His name is Fish. Across NACL Stage 3, he had a 1.18 rating, 17 and 10 on entry, plus 20 on the KD, just 500ths off of a perfect 1 KPR, and he was a star entry for Investigation File. We always talked about IF needing to speed things up, get in the building quicker, take map control quicker, and Fish was a huge help. He played, I think he played very shortly in CL once before, or T3 with a similar core, and didn't do great, but this was certainly a standout performance from him across that stage. I got up, like, if I look at IF and I look at the most impactful player to their improvement, I look at Fish.
Well, I mean, the numbers, they speak for themselves. I mean, those are outstanding stats. You're looking at, there are even tier 1 players who can't even put up those numbers in that same role. So look, for Fish to come and put up numbers like that, yeah, I definitely think he's probably the tip of the spear that you're looking for if you're Investigation File, especially on the Zofia and the Alibi. He's the one you're looking to hit those key shots, find those big kills, and set yourself up for a round win. Look, maybe not necessarily in the same level or even in the same conversation as Freak and Courts, who have been sort of talked about as a duo. If Fish can put up numbers like that on his own, look, I think Reality TV need to identify that and help shut him down.
And we'll be looking at him to put up those numbers against Reality TV's brand new core. So 3 returning faces, Mr. B, Giddy, and Tristan. But they've lost 2 very crucial components. Gavin / Gavini, as he's known, and Packer. Both of these players moving to T1 and being replaced by Valor and Hat. 2, I would argue, very different players. Gavini was incredibly consistent up until kind of the finals. He dropped off a little bit, but the rest of the team had his back. Gavini, incredibly consistent, incredibly clutch, almost the perfect entry player. And Packer, an incredible frag support. Valor and Hat, I would consider both entries, but neither of them have really ever had the same consistency as Gavini, especially Hat. Hat in Challenger League was really hot and cold. He would either be dominating the game he was playing in or kind of a wet noodle. Valor, on the other hand, as soon as he was taken off hard support, was doing pretty well. I just don't know if these two pickups are going to be able to fill the shoes of players like Packer and Gavini.
Look, all I know, Vela is an absolute favorite player in our region and ANZ. Everyone loves Vela. Look,
of course,
he's talked about to death. But from what I understand, look, Crow, we do have again a bit more insight into this roster as well. We sat down, had a chat, and Mr. B is going to give us the insight into this crew.
Hi, I'm Mr. B, and I'm the IGL for Reality TV. Valor and Hat. Valor has been kind of working as an analyst, so he knew our system pretty much. But he's really nice, he's very versatile, so we're kind of figuring out what exactly we want to be doing with everyone where. As for Hat, he's just insane. Mechanically, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. I'm really excited to see what he'll do.
Hey, joining a narcos. Can you shoot it?
Oh, so I
got it.
Nice,
B.
I'm with you guys. I'm done.
Running printer.
What's all the desk?
Hey, stay alive.
Desk, one dead, minor.
Oh my god.
Drop,
Last one dropped, circle.
You guys have
Side door, dead.
Nice, good job.
one split.
Dead, yellow. No, yellow. It's first just like CL teams stay around longer, right? Because they can't just like randomly make roster changes all the time, and therefore they have a lot more experience of how to play as teams strategically, that kind of stuff. Big part is just for a lot of these teams is that they get to constantly compete against other high level talent, right? They're competing against pros all the time, practice against pros, right? So their strategies that they can come up with have to be top tier. Amateur strategies are going to be kind of surface level. You're not having to tear apart a strategy step by step. It's kind of just like oh, there's the opening. Do this, and we win the round for free. So I think that's kind of the big major difference, I'd say. Yeah, I wanna fuck up Parabellum. I can't say I'm a huge fan of every player on their roster. There's a few players I want to beat out there, and let's just say that one of them is a Parabellum. Top red dead, yellow red dead. Yeah, white hole window dead.
Op 4, last.
Red. Sunny dead, I'm walking sight.
One red still.
Dead sight.
I'm holding red.
Maestro's here too. Maestro dead. Maestro's red.
Red. Wow.
Oh my god! It wasn't a pro league team at the time. Xeno or they had another name before that, but right, which is now the core of Astralis. Iconic, J90, DP Fire. They had a constantly changing fifth, and then there was some other guy. They were like the top amateur team. The pros were saying they were really good, this, that, and the other. Most of them are now in Pro League. But they were a huge inspiration for me because I was like, holy shit, like these guys are not that much older than me, right? Maybe a year or two. And I'm like, okay, that's who I gotta be. Those people right there. It's gotta be Oxygen, right? Like, I think especially for a lot of these up-and-coming teams, it's gonna be a real just like slap in the face with how much fucking talent is coming at them. Taking a gunfight and you're just like, wow, okay, on me, I shouldn't have peeked him. My only worry with Oxygen is that they're not gonna put in 110%. I think it'll be Astralis if actually don't take it too seriously, but yeah, Oxygen is my go-to for, I think, very scary for a lot of these teams to go up against. I picked everyone on my team. They're all really talented players. I think they're vocal, actually understand what they're doing. That's a huge thing. They do it for reasons, and they think about what they're doing, and partially because of the time they spend on my team, but also look for people that actually have a basic understanding of the game. So yeah, I think that's a big thing that sets my team apart. Don't have an ego. If for any moment you ever believe that any player is better than you in the lobby, you will lose. Every single player on the enemy team, I am better than at every single thing that they do. I can acknowledge their strength, and I'm not gonna say I don't need like to work to beat these people or whatever. I put my team through the fucking ringer, the 9 to 5. As soon as I get in that lobby, I don't just think it, I know it. Have an ego. I'd say just like on a regular basis, it's probably like watching anime with my mom. I love my parents, right? I think they're amazing people, and so I just watch anime with my mom. It's such a cool experience, and I really enjoy that. That's kind of I would say that's my go-to kind of zen. Dead lobby. Just shit on that guy.
Looks tight, yeah.
Right off my green.
One was hall.
Yo, lobby dead.
Look, Knee-box. Last one was Knee-box. Last scene.
T1.
Dead.
hostiles eliminated.
the one, the only, Mr. British, and he's also our highlight player across NACL. You know, he may be the IGL, he may be the hard support, but damn, does he not have a rating like one? 1.15 plus 27 on the KD. Hell, he's even -1 on entry. Look at that.
Yeah, look,
10
involved
plants,
in 41 entries is pretty big, and winning almost half of them as a support is even bigger. Like, that's insane. Honestly, there's only one conceivable thing that I can put this down to. It's got to be the Mama B anime factor. I mean, that level of support. What does it do to a player in the Siege first? Because clearly it's working.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's certainly a lot of Siege players that I think I would have to, I would like to have a firm talk with their parents, but Mr. B is not one of them. Meanwhile, we can go to the maps. Billy, where do you think we're playing? Clubhouse in Oregon, banned right off the bat.
Oh.
God, I love Mr. B. Theme Park in Sky, though. Why would you do that to And Border? I hate IF already. Chalet, the next to go down. That leaves us with 3 maps. Villa and Cafe out of here, and we are going to Bank, the map that you had wanted in our first game. We're seeing now between 2 Challenger League teams, 2 of the top ones.
Yeah, I really like the way the Bank's played out. You know, since its introduction, it does create some unique and rather interesting positions for teams to find themselves in. And when it comes to predictions, look, I've backed RTV. I've got to go with my boy, you know, Vela coming into this competition. ANZ favourite. He is beloved by our region. And look, for the moment, we're all 100% of the predictions. Unfortunately, I think about 3 of us are going to walk away at the 50% by the end of this.
You're that confident, huh? That confident. Well, we'll have to see. Reality TV, of course, making one more roster change that we saw from IF, and losing, I would argue, more important facets of their play, right? Vivid, he's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, right? He was a solid IGL, really solid support player. We always talk about the Charles Vivito clutch factor. He's no longer with the team. Arrow comes in, but reality, I mean, you just cannot understate the contributions of Gavini and Packer in that undefeated stage too, which was just unprecedented, right? Mr. B promised that on day 1 and delivered, and then didn't drop a map until the grand final against Aerial Arise. And right, if you're going to drop a map to anyone, it might as well be that team, because Aerial are freaking nasty. And so I don't know. I think taking the undefeated stage and the pieces they lost, I would actually consider these 2 teams now in even standing. We'll see what the community thinks. Wow, is that unfair to IF, I think.
Well, I mean, it's, I suppose, one of the true markers of what makes a great IGL. How well do you still perform with a team with new players on it? Does it mean, you know, if that success still carries over, how much of that is Mr. B leading the ship, so to speak? And I mean, you look at the numbers that he's putting up, he's leading by example. We go into the ban phase, Nook taken out immediately by RTV. On Bank, it makes so much sense, especially at the moment, how strong she can be, especially through the likes of the lobby lurk or even through the car park. What do we get? Response Hibana, again, still makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of hatch play in the basement and even on the 2 middle floor sites as well, Hibana lends herself to. Nook, incredibly powerful operator on Bank, so those 2 make a ton of sense. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Valkyrie go next. Again, Bank, huge map. Black Eyes, more info you can get as the defense, the better. And Mira to follow, because Bank is one of her best maps, especially in the basement. Mira is pretty tough to crack. What this does leave up, though, Billy, we've got Thatcher up. The other hard breachers, you know, Flores, still in play. We've also got Azami still up, and Kate. So I'm going to be interested to see how much she gets played. At least in round 1, the defense will not pick her up. And the attack, despite a Cade being on the other team, don't have a Thatcher just yet either.
Fish looking to flex early on, try and get the heads of reality TV at the moment. But yeah, look, I don't think Azami not being in this first round is going to be overwhelmingly telling, and the fact that Kaid is in play, you also got to remember the counterpart being Thatcher, it's still in play. You got the EMP impacts as well, so it's not like the good old days when Kaid was the be all and end all when it came to breach denial. So there are ways to work around it. Plus, you can see Fish currently hovering the Twitch as well. So quite clearly, IF are reading into this setup.
Fish on Twitch was certainly a sight to behold in Challenger League, and he'll be looking to reprise that. It seems like Arrow is going to slot straight into Vivid's role as that hard support. Meanwhile, Reality TV, everything seems to be normal as well. Valor picking up Packers slack, and Ana de Armas, not 100 Thieves. Of course, that's Hat coming in onto that Jaeger and being that fragger that Reality TV are looking for. Only one shield being played, brought by the smoke. Giddy instead will bring a C4. So 3 C4s for Reality TV to try and defend this basement. And they'll be looking to send those onto that default plant spot. IF have got to get a move on if they want to get the plant in an orderly fashion and not have to waste away the clock waiting for those nitros.
I mean, they are making some good time. Inrio already getting in, dealing with a lot of those hatches up on the second floor as a sledge, creating a couple of vert angles. And CZ working his way down main stairs. So it's not like there isn't a lack of hustle for you know, investigation file. They are moving through the building with some intent. And look, I think this is, again, you talked about it, the showcase of Tier 2 on Tier 2, and we are getting that already.
Something that you mentioned, though, right, with circumnavigating the Cade is the Thatcher being left up, the secondary EMPs, and we're seeing neither. So I'm a little worried for IF. How are they going to get these hatches open? They've got Twitch, sure, but it also requires Twitch to actually get downstairs and find an opening with that shock drone, which it seems like he actually might. Wait, do you see that?
I think he may be. I think that was his last one, though, yeah. Unfortunately, I think he's out of shock drones, though, so whether or not he's done the work he needs to, we'll have to wait and see. But already Aero in server, looking to get the wall open to go for that default plant spot. Opens up the long angle as well behind the server stacks. So I think this is where those triple nitros come into play. Aero's going for the plant. Can they thread the needle? There's no one in position. Vela, has he got the smoke deep enough? He does. Giddy there to help. Will shut down the plant attempt, and it's not the great spot. Luckily, Fish, he's brave. He'll walk in, get the case back, and then out in with a chance still.
Despite the flashes, despite the smokes, the only hard counter is Warden, which Giddy is playing, and he finds that small little angle, the angle that's been played for so long, to shoot and deny that initial defuse attempt. And he can play here so freely because all the hard breach has been used. They opened up server hatch, and they opened up site hatch, and the 2 default walls. So red hatch is not open. Inrio trying to go for the plant now as well. Giddy unable to find the shots, but there's the C4! Just as the plant was about to be completed, the nitro cells make their presence known. Mr. B, 1 kill on the man dropping the hatch, another being downed. Fish, the main fragger, left with Case, left to pick up the pieces in a 1 versus 5. Only 13 seconds to go. This round pretty much lost already, barring a monumental throw, but no, Hat will finish him off, and Reality TV take round number 1 in stride.
I mean, I think the entirety of that victory comes off the back of Giddy's first kill. Just the long angle from the garage, finds the first plant, shuts it down, gives them the time to reposition Valor on that smoke and start denying. Aero, the second attempt, shut down off of the smoke plays as well. Look, it was just, it was exactly what RTV needed to get themselves the victory there. It just all the dominoes falling into place.
Perfect from Reality TV. Great use of the angles and utility. They now swap to open area, typically the secondary site on this map now that top floor has fallen out of favor, but that doesn't mean they won't roam up there. You gotta have some sort of top floor presence, as you do on almost every single map with a middle floor bomb site. They'll be sitting at least 2 members up here. It looks to be Hat and maybe Tristan with that Wamai. I wouldn't be surprised if Giddy joins them upstairs as well, leaving Valor and Mr. B on the site. You know, using those Legion mines, when you extend horizontally too, there's a lot of ground you have to cover, and the goo mines do a great job in doing that. You can spread them out on those doorways and entry points. You have those sound cues. They're really loud. You can almost hear them across the map to know when those attackers are starting to push you. And IF will be looking to clear this top floor as soon as possible, bringing that redundancy between the buck and the sledge.
I mean, you look at the RTV lineup, a lot of it is just sort of, you know, sit up, walk away in their operator lineup. I mean, Legion is going to be throwing those goo mines down. None of these operators specifically need to play hard on the site because they can just set the utility up and go for that roam. You're not talking about a smoke or anything that needs to sit there and anchor things down. So there is a lot of flexibility. And Tristan, he puts that flexibility to work immediately.
It's easy, the first dead. I mean, You do have the redundancy in the buck, like I mentioned earlier, but losing that set of nades is never good. Fish gets the late trade onto Giddy, but takes a lot of punishment, and thus is easily finished by Tristan, with his second looking for a third now onto Arrow as he peeks into the stock window. Hat on the other side of the top floor picks Inrio off. Now you have no more vertical destruction, and Arrow, trying to get up and run away, takes damage as Tristan shoots him in the back. EE1D goes off from Wimpy, but it doesn't allow any more headway into this top floor. Arrow's got to wait for the Lion to come and assist him, but it's too late. Tristan nabs the kill and gets away just in time as Wimpy turns the corner. If only Arrow had survived a couple seconds longer, Wimpy could have gotten the frag, and we'd be looking at a 2 versus 3, a much more doable round for this attack, but in a 1v4, not a lot we can do here.
See miracles happen. He's got time, at the very least, and he's got one more scan. Unfortunately, that's all he really has, plus the DMR, and well, it doesn't matter. Hat just finds the pixel, taps away, boom, there we go. Just the one tap to the dome. And RTV, a phenomenal start here to bank, picking up the first 2 rounds.
I mean, a fantastic roam upstairs, which was really just consisted of Hat sitting in janitor and Tristan sitting in stock. I mean, they had no right getting 4 separate kills all on that top floor. IF are going to need to show something else. I mean, that was their first kill. Was Fish killing the castle of Giddy, and they haven't gotten any others. How does Valor have 3 assists?
Smoke.
And Mr. V and Valor both have 3 assists. Oh, Smoke and Legion. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he got 2 in the first round off of the plant attempt, so to speak, out of investigation fire. But look, I mean, I do have to ask. Obviously, my experience in casting predominantly ANZ and Southeast Asia, because in those regions they're quite happy to go to the second floor. Is that not a thing here in NA?
People generally kind of hate the second floor, or wait, are you talking about CEO or
the second floor?
All right, I just want to make
this
sure
is
we're on the
usually
same
the
page
secondary
here.
site for a lot of teams in Southeast Asia and ANZ.
Archives has actually started to be played a little bit more. People just kind of hate the top floor site because of how oppressive the window repels are, especially in this day and age with the meta. If you're bringing in a zombie, it makes it a lot easier. I'm actually really surprised that Reality TV aren't bringing her, but yeah, people just don't like this site anymore.
Region diff. It is what it is. But I mean, look, Hat and Tristan currently 7 kills unanswered between them. Are doing pretty well for themselves. In fact, you still got 4 players on this Reality TV roster that have yet to go down in the 2 rounds played. They are, I mean, backing themselves quite comfortably into this matchup. Arrow looking to try. he's really living up to the RC vibes there. Tristan forced out of his shield, but he finds the kill on the Wimpy anyway.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
I mean, he gets instantly traded back, but what a kill. You lose your Omai, who's already really done his job by wasting a minute, almost a minute 20, and getting a kill in stock. And you've killed the only hard breacher, and Valor destroys CZ on that peak. Now you've lost your only set of nades. Not great for IF here, and Valor's looking for more. Tasked with holding down the Janitor Hall top square, that area, as well as stock at the same time, and he's putting on a clinic, taking these shots, making sure Arrow is scared to push in, and Fish gets caught out on the main stairs, trying to solo like he's Nook. Arrow just goes for a jump in and dies, and leaves Inrio alone on the windows. IF tried to work 3 people on 3 different angles, and boy, was it unsuccessful.
Yeah, and look, it's an absolute blowout. Once again, Tristan finds that incredibly damning opening pick. You lose one of the key factors of this approach, and from there it just gets worse and worse.
Run out.
It's spectacular the way that Reality TV are approaching this. And we spent all that time highlighting Fish and his impact. Currently he's 1-3 and has been shut down 3 rounds in a row.
I love Hat. He just started chucking smokes out the window onto the ground, maybe to try and distract Inrio. Oh, he wants to run out. Hat wants to, and he does! Yes! I'm so happy. Oh no, he didn't get the kill running out. He ran out after. Oh well. I could dude, Hat was scratching his neck looking at that run out. But he finds the kill anyway, just playing on the window.
How
Reality
do I finesse
TV.
this?
Yeah, for reality TV, it's pure domination right now. In
It
the
is indeed.
first 3 rounds, Investigation File were flawless round 1, got 1 kill round 2, and then got 1 kill round 3. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Look, I think they're just getting aggressive. I mean, that's the key, getting up in an investigation
active.
files. I mean, even, look, the only round that they really weren't aggressive, so to speak, was that opening round. I mean, it was a pretty passive defense on the whole. They just sat back, knew full well that that's where investigation file were going to be heading, because, I mean, it's the default plant spot, like you said. Almost every team goes for that service push, goes for the cheeky little plant behind the desk, and from there, they take the one round and they just run with it. Absolutely full pelt sprint towards investigation file. And look, reality TV could just, I mean, look, they can sit back. They're going to be quite happy with at least the 3-3, but from the momentum is already there. Investigation file, this time out, from the looks of it, it's called by reality TV, but that could just be me misreading things. Either way, this is a necessity. Investigation file need to use this time.
It's I'm a little concerned too, because just on the operator lineup, you guys can't see it, we can. They had a oh no, okay, they switched. Never mind. They were playing a Mozzie, like they were gonna work a roam. But they switched back, playing the passive style instead. And you were right. We see from the match chat, it was a timeout called by IF, not reality TV. That would not make sense with the fact that
I had the wrong screen up. It's been a while since I've done a Rainbow Six broadcast. My bad.
All good. Reality TV, they're bringing pretty much the same lineup and will probably defend it in a very similar way. Again, concerned a little bit considering IF are not bringing the Thatcher, not bringing EMPs. It makes me think maybe those Cades were positioned in a way to funnel IF into hard breaching what the defense wanted them to open, being the server hatch, the CC hatch, and then the 2 default walls, unable to get red open. Because with red closed, right, that's how Giddy is able to play up on that wall and deny the default plant spot. If IF open up the red hatch, then that play doesn't happen. But because of these Cades, and because of the lack of EMPs, IF can't do that.
I almost wonder if maybe, reality TV have also banned, baited out investigation file with the bans. I mean, Maverick is available. Yes, look, it can be a bit risky, but at least it's a more secure way to get these hatches open. Mr. B, unfortunately, it seems punished there. I think that was Fish popping one of the Vulcan jetpacks there. And he's got himself, a decent chunk of damage off his health. But now I think at least they've still got 5 guns in play, which is the big thing.
Yeah, and then as I was making the point, they did switch to Thatcher. So Inro's bringing those EMPs. Now the red hatch can be opened by either Wimpy or Arrow. But because there's no Hibana and no Ace, they're going to have to pick and choose. There's only so much they can open. For example, if you want red hatch open and you still want both default walls, well, then either server or CC is remaining closed. If you want both those hatches open and the red hatch open, well, then you either get the default plant wall or the long angle wall. So it's IF are now kind of restricting themselves into making these choices that could be solved by just like bringing in an Ace or more hard breach charges. They will opt to open up that CC hatch once again. C4 being prepped from Mr. B. Does it arc? No, just out of the way, unable to kill Wimpy, and red hatch is indeed opened now by the attack. So Giddy's angle from garage, slightly harder to play now.
Adapting at least. An investigation file needs to be making his adaptations. Arrow pops the first server wall, he's going for the second here, so obviously they're going for that same plant, which is, again, the standard approach to this site. You go for that plant just in behind half wall there. Vela lining up the smokes. I mean, is this going to be enough? Arrow, last time he was shut down by Giddy. They've changed, they've opened the hatch, but the toxic canisters will delay once again. And there are still 2 more in play. And with 50 seconds on the clock, they're going to have to change something because they may not have the time to get in and go for that plant attempt.
The Iana comes in and spots Giddy. He's wasting away his ward, and his Wimpy continues to flash in almost as a distraction, not really making way for a push. Again, the gas canister is just going to force Arrow off the plant and waste even more time. Reality TV still have this angle. Fish gets the first kill and a second. Moving in through Garage. Mr. B and Giddy now dead, but the C4 is there to respond. Hat a kill onto CZ. Fish now alone in Garage, trying to make his way through. Wimpy has dropped the hatch, and Inrio can't plant just yet, but a beautiful headshot through the wall gives his team the man advantage. Valor instantly refrags, but no more gas means the plant's gonna go down from Inrio. Fish finally pushes up, spotted by the cam, but it's since been meleeed, so the info for the defense is stale, and Valor still gets the kill. Inrio now moves upstairs, but look at this. Because they chose the server hatch to stay closed, they no longer have it available for post-plant. He'll be forced onto this red hatch. It's a great angle to play, but the defense knows where he has to peek. Valor's going to make his way upstairs, leaving Tristan down below. The beeper reveals the smoke's position. He has to win this 1v1, and they're going to try and distract this Thatcher. In comes Valor. He doesn't get the kill, but Tristan's trying to stick, needs to get off to take the fight, and Inrio wins it. Such low HP for the Goyo. It was tough for Tristan, and Inrio gives IF their first round.
I mean, ultimately, that was the only real call that I think reality TV could make in that situation. You said the Goyo, he's even lower health than Valor. I mean, he's literally, you sneeze on him and your Goyo's dead. So you send the player with the health to try and contest the fight. Unfortunately, lose it. And then Inrio just drops down, finds the player on the diff, and it's all set in stone. And Investigation File finally get themselves on the board after the attack pause. So really, the best of a bad situation. Unfortunately, reality TV have 2 more rounds ahead. I mean, obviously that lead being evident on your screens, the 3-1 now. So whether or not this is a flash in the pan, it's all pressure on Investigation File.
Especially because that round was so winnable for reality TV. I just think they had the timing off, right? Because again, because the server hatch is closed, they know exactly where Inrio has to be holding. He has to be on that CC hatch. If Tristan goes for that long arm, where he was for the most part protected, right? If he keeps going for that long arm, then Valor kind of has a free kill, because either Inrio has to peek, and once he hears Inrio shooting down the hatch, then Valor shoots him in the back, or Inrio has to drop, in which case Valor peeks the hatch and kills Inrio while he's busy with Tristan. I think it was still really, really winnable for RTV. They just didn't exactly play it right. But of course, that's no fault to them. You know, it can get hectic in those 1v2s, and I'm sure that
it's also based off the information that they had to work with.
I'm sure it's also they're thinking about it in hindsight, and hindsight's 2020. So they only have dropped 1 round so far. Plenty of time to recover and still take a 4-2 half, maybe even 5-1 if they continue their dominant streak. But that was also a much-needed round for IF to stop the bleeding. And especially after the timeout, if you lose your first round after a timeout, boy, are you in big trouble.
Deployed and camp ready.
I mean, the one saving grace is at least reality TV still have theirs to work with. Giddy already spotting these Argus cams, and Fish the first to fall. No longer will Zero Sam Fisher still be in play. That's a big kill to be taken off the board.
Tristan, though, equally as big with how much work he's been doing holding down stock. CZ getting that kill, first kill for his team, is monumental. Even man count now, as more players are downstairs to hunt down Mr. B, that Legion. In the meantime, CZ's worked his way through stock. There's a couple attackers moving into top square, and Hat maybe starting to feel the pressure. Getting aggressive, shoots a drone, and instantly falls back. He got a long angle as well, thanks to the top square wall being open, but he'll also fall back. So IF take that top floor. They finally got it under their control. They've only got 1:15 to work this vert and set up for the execute.
Mr. B being found, threatened just a little bit, the stun to come through, so Wimpy might just be able to finish it off, but he spots a pixel. Off to the side, finds the head of Giddy. Unfortunately, it will also seal his fate, allowing Mr. B to take him down. So the trade effectively immediate. Oh, the player just by the window, not for the spot, and Mr. B finds 2.
No.
In that hole on the archives, almost finds 0. It's 3 for him in the round. He's got the potential for 1 more. He spots the head, relocating for the angle. Can he find the player at top square? The roof around him is just falling. The 3 versus 2.
Crazy.
All reality TV need to do is hold.
And he's out of there. That little ring around the rosy with Inrio. You know, you could hear one of us kind of gasp every time he skated away from that window. So unfortunate for the Buck, and Mr. B just played the positioning better. And Hat, what a pre-fire onto Arrow. CZ's just got to try and drop in and make something happen. He's got pings on 1. He dusts the alibi, but Valor's there for the trade, and reality TV take their fourth point. Fourth.
I mean, that's a decisive round after the tech pause coming in. It allowed Investigation File to get themselves around, but Reality TV shut down any hope and momentum being generated off of that win. So we go into the final round of the half, a 4-1 scoreline with Reality TV. Let's be honest, in position to potentially take the 5-1, much like our last match.
And with how close the round that IF won was too, I just don't think it was enough to really stunt Reality TV, right? Because after a flawless round and then only losing 1 kill in each of the 2 rounds following, to get that round to a 1v1 after a timeout, I mean, it was so, not just a 1v1, a 2v1 in your favor after an opponent's timeout is really a statement. I mean, the only way it could have gone better is if they won it. Now, sure, that defense, again, was rather close. CZ in a 1v3, he got it down to a 1v2. It's still not, nail-biter territory. Reality TV have still felt in control even after that timeout, and it doesn't bode well at all for IF. Moving into this final round, we go to CEO, where Tristan, again, had a standout round playing by stock. CZ did figure it out, killed him pretty early on last time. We'll see if Tristan makes the same mistake.
And favorite Valor, he's 5-1 right now. He's been a part of 9 kills so far this matchup. And it's just you look at the spread, the kills. Look, yeah, Giddy's down on 2, but you got 5, 6, 6, 5 on the side of Reality TV. They're putting up the numbers. They're keeping themselves alive. The survivability so far has been spectacular. I'm a little concerned, Crow, as we see the setup and the approach of the second floor attack. It's a very similar approach to how Investigation File played it last time, and they were punished quite heavily off the back of it. So they need to get control of stock. They need to stop Tristan from doing what Tristan did last time, which was absolutely gut their push.
Yeah, I think Giddy, he didn't get a bad rap, but I think a lot of people were kind of looking at him like, oh, why didn't you do better last stage? And it's kind of the same thing here, right? He's 2-3. He's only -1. He doesn't have more kills because his entire team is taking them before he can get a chance to, right? Like Hat, Valor, Tristan, Mr. B with that 3K last round. Like there's just not a lot of opportunity for Giddy to get into these fights. IF have opened an opportunity for themselves, though. They've cleared stock successfully, forcing Tristan away, getting the hard breach down. I mean, Wimpy did use 2 Selmas, but at least they get Tristan out of there, and it doesn't cost him a body.
Halfway through the round, though, in the last of the first half, so look, it definitely feels like it's a case of Investigation File maybe too little too late coming into this matchup. Reality TV, like you said, have had a solid grasp of things. A very passive round so far, and the nade from CZ, that could be the difference maker with Vela out of the equation, plus Giddy going down as well. This player count lead could be what they need to seal the deal.
I mean, the only round they've won is also the only round they've gotten an opening pick, thanks to Fish with that 2K from Garage we saw. So this, like you said, could be what they need. IF, the struggle has always been the early round, but here they've mended it. CZ, another one to make it a 2 versus 5. Arrow getting the plant down, but it's not even going to matter. CZ grabs another, and the castle, or sorry, not the castle. Oh, it was the castle. Looks the wrong way. And that gives IF the most dominant round we've seen from them this game, which I mean isn't saying much because it's out of 2. But they won it flawlessly. And that is the statement you need to make before the half switch.
I almost have to feel for Mr. B in that round. One, he popped this, he disabled the Saria gate walking forward, which allowed the frag grenade in. So if he'd gone back, there was a frag grenade behind him. Pushing forward, he ran straight into the Yada that was coming up the stairs in the hands of CZ. So it was really a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Yeah. But look, if nothing else, at least Reality TV now get a bit of a reset as they head over to the attack. Investigation File, look, 4-2, it's not the end of the world. That's a manageable scoreline to work with. We've seen teams come back from less, but I mean, the glaringly obvious talking point for me, Crow, is Aero is really having a horrendous game. Whether it's a case of he's been shut down this entire time or he's just not firing today. 0-5 is not the scoreline you want.
Yeah, not even an assist to his name. As well, to Fish being negative. I mean, we talked about how important and how impactful he was to IF's turnaround from stage 2 to stage 3, speeding them up, getting entries for them, making sure that IF had a clear path through the building, and we didn't see any of that, up until round 4 when he got that 2K in Garage, but even then the round still came close. Reality TV, every round they got an opener, they won. Same goes for IF. And getting those entries in the first place has been a struggle this match so far. So I'm hoping now that we're on the defense, you know, as they always say, defense, just by the nature of the game, easier to play, easier to be aggressive than on attack. And hopefully people like Fish and the rest of IF can turn it around and make it a closer game.
Ready. Investigation file. The off-site presence has been spotted. First Vulcan pack destroyed as well on that square double. So at least, you know, Reality TV are getting some ideas of where this investigation file, you know, emphasis has been put in terms of the defensive setup. But you can already see the call has been made. The pullback has been quite quite significant. CZ, I think, yeah, CZ and Fish, the only players currently up on that first floor. The rest of them hunkered down in the basement, ready to go.
Reality TV have made decent time. Only a minute through, they know top floor is clear, and they'll look to claim the life of Fish, sitting in open area right next to that open hatch. So he's probably just playing for a drone, looking to shoot out some info, and then immediately fall back. But it's an opening pick once again for IF, thanks to CZ. 2 rounds in a row. He's gotten the leadoff kill. And it's on to Giddy, the Dokkaebi, who I don't think has used a phone call yet. And, you know, it's not as important when there's no roam clear, but it still takes defenders off cams, and it's still either EMPs or smokes that the attackers could have really used.
Not to mention, I mean, the logic bomb is a bloody annoying sound to have going off in the background while you're trying to clutch up a gunfight. So it's just this extra level of distraction factor that can throw you off your game in that situation. So right now, look, it's not an ideal situation for Reality TV, but they've made the moves, they've got the inroads in, the Candela's coming straight in through, and Valley's been dropped straight into the vault. Wants to cut in through the back of the side if he can. They're a spotter on the drive. I don't know if they know if Bella's here. He's just spraying through the wall. It's full-blown mayhem. Aero gets his first.
Wow.
Back. Seasy through the wall onto Valla, tucks him down. And Mr. B and Tristan have to cut through and make this attack work. Tristan, he's in the elevators, and, well, unfortunately, he's going to be caught out. It's all on to Tristan now to try and make something work. But, I mean, Crow, the possibilities were there for a moment. Unfortunately, shut down.
The cam was there, no one on the attack having an opportunity to shoot it with how fast they were trying to move, and that's another symptom of not having the Dokkaebi. You could have forced the dead defenders off those cams, but instead they were being fed full info. And IF with a fantastic round to lead off. Got scary for a sec from Reality TV with Valor getting his way in, but CZ, what a shot through the wall. He eventually got traded by Mr. B, but at that point, a 3 versus 2, and IF have been given the opportunity to recollect themselves and set up for the coming onslaught that was really just working its way from vault and elevator. Unless you have some other pressure point, for example, main stairs, then that is a lot easier to work around, but Reality TV didn't have much map control. And IF just pointed all their guns in one direction. Easy round.
The wild thing is, Valla, if he'd connected if he'd taken out Aero, yeah, look, he wasn't actively shooting at anyone, he was just spraying through a soft wall. If he'd somehow connected with Aero, that could have been a round win for Reality TV. Unfortunately, luck just was not on his side, and then CZ absolutely smoked him, answering back.
Yeah, he just killed that guy a little bit quicker. His teammate on main stairs would have been alive. We switch to open area now, off of lockers. Same, I wouldn't doubt if we see the exact same site rotation from IF that we saw from Reality TV, which was lockers, open, CEO. Lockers, open, CEO. So far that's stayed true, 2 out of 3 sites. Really, really early EE1D from Giddy. What are we playing, casual? Why did he do that?
Maybe anticipating a bit of, aggression off the rip from investigation file. I mean, look,
this will stop the spawn peaks.
Well, they've got the Thunderbird, which is the thing. I mean, investigation file can afford to be a little bit more aggressive in the earlier stages of this round.
And I think they know that, especially with, CZ climbing those main stairs and Fish hitting that late flank. They keep cooking up like this. Keep getting those opening kills. It's gonna work wonders for him. More drones coming in from Reality TV. They see the Swiss cheese wall and Janitor. They, I think, spot the Oryx here sitting on the front desk. CZ supporting him from Janitor playing on the Swiss wall. Tristan, the first attacker, it looks like, to actually move into that top floor and is waiting for the OK from his team to start moving on in. Mr. B will come in and assist on that Zofia. Giddy sends his second EE1D down. Valor and Hat are both on the rappel, and because of the wall, all those punch holes, CZ has a really easy angle to claim. Hat Giddy working his way in main lobby, I guess forgets about the front desk player. Valor does trade him back, but the man count is still in the defense's favor.
CZ for a third round fighting the opening kill here on Reality TV, and it seems that their attack is in shambles somewhat. They've got time, so if nothing else, they can work around that and try and get themselves into a more manageable situation. I think Valor, yeah, understandably just mincing the Swiss wall out of frustration, I think, more than anything, given that it cost his teammate that opening pick.
Now the vertical destruction begins with those breaching charges. Not a whole lot that you can do on open area, considering the entire kitchen site is hard, but there's some nice angles you can get. You've got the hatch as well, working its way into small office and this destructible floor that Valor's now lording over. But no one on the defense is exposing themselves. They're all playing rather passive, knowing that it's the attackers who have to make the first move. CZ offsite as well, looking to work a late flank, and that might come soon, considering there's only 35 seconds now for the attackers to push in. All of their avenues seemingly being watched by one of these defenders' guns. Tristan's now made his way into into archives. Fish, who thought he could get the jump on a player working their way by the window, gets caught by Mr. B. Tristan works his way through small office and gets one. Arrow, another, leaving Tristan a 1 versus 2. If he can kill this Thunderbird, it's a doable 1v1, but CZ comes for the assist just in time. 3 kills for the Malusi to tie the game.
CZ, I mean, really stepping up the last 2 rounds. What, 3 opening kills and a massive performance there in the 8th. And the timer, understandably called. But I mean, Crow, we have a mirror so far of a round progression. 3 rounds picked up by Reality TV, then Investigation File win 1, Reality TV win 1 back, and then Investigation File have won the last 3. And from here, it becomes unknown territory. If I had to hazard a guess, though, I think Investigation File have finally won themselves coming up into this match because they've got the momentum.
Now CEO, same site rotation we saw from Reality TV. I'm glad to see CZ stepping up too. I remember one of the jokes in Challenger League that we had from stage 2 moving into stage 3, because we had those off-stream games. CZ was a demon, incredible in the off-stream games. And then once we were back on stream, it's like, I don't know, like he got nervous or he was shaken or something. We never really saw that same performance when we were watching him. Now though, this is like a VOD performance from CZ. Like you said, 3 opening kills in a row for his team to give his team 3 rounds in a row. 3 kills in that last round as the Malusi, coming from a top floor to a basement flank to the anchor game. CZ's been doing it all. 11-6. In fact, this is a tie game. And look at the kill differentials on these teams. We're 4-4. CZ is 11-6, and he's the only positive member of his team. Meanwhile, Reality TV, I mean, they got B, Tristan, Hat, Valor, all sitting positive, but still, the round count is even because these rounds, they haven't been able to close out. They haven't been able to kill CZ. It just goes to show, once again, that kills are not everything in this game. We'll hope to see Reality TV recover here. Otherwise, it'll be 4 in a row from IF.
Well, Giddy, I think the only thing positive at the moment is his attitude. Still just chugging along with the team. Says, all right, lads, you guys are doing the legwork. I'll just bring up the rear. But I mean, honestly, watching this Investigation File roster, look, it's not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination. We're tied up at 4-4, but I'm getting real vibes of, believe it or not, an ANZ team, the Pittsburgh Knights, who have this real late map potential. They can weather whatever storm comes their way in the first half, and they're a real solid team when it comes to closing out maps. And it's same vibe that I'm getting for Investigation File. They can weather whatever storms come their way. In fact, they weathered a 4-2 half. They've brought it back even. If they can keep this momentum going, surely, honestly, I think this next round, round 9, is pivotal. If they can win this, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them carry out and win the rest of the map.
Now, the, Monty is an interesting pick from Mr. B. And as we all know, it means they're probably going to be pushing main lobby, which they're doing. Inrio is going to be the first player likely to feel the pressure from that Monty, as he's boxed an elevator and his rotate's not open. The hatch is closed, so he's stuck there. If anyone has a nade, Inrio's a freebie.
You have to see Tristan coming in below.
Speaking of
Yellow
freebies.
pings. A freebie, indeed. Wimpy gone. Removed from the equation entirely. He's looking for a nade. Unfortunately, no one there to receive. But that is a big kill to take to start things off. That was, you know, your threat from below with the nitro cell. And that's one less gun off the board, too.
Speaking of one less gun off the board, though, Fish with the first kill for his team. I think a run out onto Valor, and that's going to prompt Hat to chase. They know he's got to rotate through that jewelry tunnel, and they'll send the sledge to try and catch him. Here's the castle back inside, taking the fight and wins it! Hat lets his prey get the best of him. Tristan now works his way into top square. Mr. B is in the sight. Tristan gets a kill onto Arrow, shooting the Aruni in the back of the head while he was distracted by the Monty. Mr. B drops the shield momentarily to try and kill CZ, now lit up thanks to the impact. But as CZ tries to kill the support, Mr. B drops the shield and another! What? Mr. B's going crazy with the pistol. Tristan finds the last one. What a play from Reality TV.
It almost felt like a magic show. Just consistently, you know, misdirection, keeping that focus on, you know, the one thing that you don't want to be focused on, and all of a sudden the Monty shields drop, pistols out, and Mr. B is absolutely slamming you with the sidearm. They talked about how, you know, pivotal that round could be. Reality TV take it away from investigation file, put themselves one away from that point. And honestly, that would have been a hugely demoralizing round because they just couldn't find the gunfight that they were looking for. I mean, getting shot in the back, dealing with a Monty, all of a sudden the Monty's slaying out. I don't envy investigation file that round.
How? I love to. It's like Mr. B said in the interview, right? Oh, there's the hole. Just go for it. He just walked down Banana and then into by the double windows and was in sight. Like, how did they let that happen?
I mean, look,
he had no support too. There was no one with him. It was just the Monty.
Very ANZ attitude. We have a term for it, believe it or not. It comes from rugby. It's called, we say up their guts, which is just straight up the middle. And that's exactly what Mr. B did. He just said it straight up, Banana, up in the front of them, just being an absolute nuisance.
That was a brilliant Monty play, I gotta say. That was crazy. Now we go back downstairs to lockers. Investigation file, incredibly successful here. Again, much to the efforts of CZ. Set up on that Goyo. Upstairs, there's a roam to clear for Reality TV. Although it's, again, very light. It's been rather light for IF all map so far. There's one player in open, one player upstairs, and then, of course, one on blue that they'll have to deal with. Hat, once again, on the hunt, but CZ gets away, establishes himself on that middle floor, and Reality TV are left wanting for an opening pick once again.
It's easy though, not necessarily. I don't think he's getting spotted there by Hat's drone, so we'll clear it out, trying to get in position to capitalize, but too little too late, and if he goes to the repeat, could find himself in trouble, especially with the shots that CZ's been hitting today already. They play it safe, go for the info game. You look at it, 4 drones already off the board. They are clearing out this info as quickly as it comes to meet them. Logic bomb out, trying to set head up for that push. Valor as well, trying to set the angle, but look at it. Tristan, he falls. Fish finds the first, easy for the second.
I think Tristan was solo pushing Fish. The guy in open area. If they even knew Fish was there, first of all. CZ, of course, then just hit his shot. Giddy, just demolished by Arrow, trying to work his way down main stairs alone. A lot of solo pushing happening for Reality TV. Mr. B, a 1v1 against a shotgun behind a shield, and wow, IF just dust every single member of this attack.
Still on for that mirror round trade so far. Okay, all right, Arrow. Okay, cool. We'll give it to you because you guys won that round. But I mean, it's a conversation between the two bottom of the leaderboard players at the moment. We head to staff here for the 11th round. But I mean, this is polar opposite of our first matchup of the day, a 7-1 into what is now a 5-5. The odds on overtime, I'd almost be willing to put money on it.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Will you?
No, I'm not going to. Oh. Apparently, casters get in trouble for betting on the games that they cast.
Maybe in T2.
I don't want Ferme yelling at me. He's mean. Actually, I've missed Ferme yelling at me. It's been too long.
Oh, 5-5. We find ourselves all tied up once again. And we're going to open area. Another site that IF had won because CZ was able to get a 3K on his roam. He's playing the Malusi again that he did so well on. Also, Fish is now positive. He's woken up. That's a bit scary for Reality TV, who have let the lead slip away. Hat has also slipped into the negative. He was quite a force to be reckoned with on defense, but hasn't been finding nearly as much success on attack. Was caught out on that rappel, tried to catch the castle as he went back inside, but got smoked. It's been rough tidings for this Sledge so far. We'll be looking to turn things around because he is oh so important, him and this Buck, when it comes to the attack on open area. And he... What?
Oh, no way.
What?
No way! How has Hat gotten away with that?
How... That was probably like one of the dumbest plays I've seen. Like, he was just like, yeah, 2 people upstairs. I died to this last time. I'm just going to do this in the first
my
week.
God,
And then he got
found
CZ too!
CZ2.
Nah. How does he... He can't keep getting away with this, Billy.
Look, the only way I can think to justify this is a case of if I don't know what I'm doing, how could they possibly know? And Hat has just perfectly finessed that situation.
I just don't get it. All right, so he's got 2 kills. Inrio gets the first for his team with that SMG-11. Tristan, the top frag for Reality TV, gets put in a box. Oh. Hat. Oh, maybe on the hunt for another. He pops that elevator hatch, but will not take the engagement. He knows he's low HP, very susceptible to pretty much every single one of these defenders' weapons, especially the DMR of Fish. He'll continue to just work vert over open area, but Giddy out DMR'd. Arrow, a follow-up onto Mr. B. The man count slips away for this attack. What's happened? Hat gave them such an advantage, and one by one the attackers fall.
I don't even know what to make of it. Tier 2 North America is a wild time. Right now, Fish, he's putting work, and he's, like you said, he's really warmed up going to this matchup. Hat, though, could be his next victim. Valor as well in a rough spot. Secondary hard breach gadget in the pocket, though, will enable him to open that wall, but the numbers advantage far from there. And you look at it, Hat, he's, what you get, you hit him with a nitro cell. Didn't even have to detonate it. You hit him with a nitro cell. He's going down, but he finds the third onto Fish looking the wrong way. And this has suddenly become doable.
Oh, that could turn the tide, but he's still very low HP. They know the cubicle that Arrow's hiding behind, but he's fully in the advantage when it comes to this gunfight. But Valor works his way in the back. He gets the freebie on it. Inreal looks for the second. Arrow exposes himself. He's now so low. Every player in this lobby low HP, but Valor's getting the plant. Hat's got the coverage. He almost whiffs it. I think that may have been a connection bug because there's no way he was missing those shots. But either way, he gets it just in the nick of time, and Reality TV get themselves match point.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to make of that round. It was an interesting one. It was a round. Let's put it that way. Nothing else. Reality TV find themselves on match point. Oh my God, Crow, what is going on? I just don't even know anymore. How Hat walks away with that round with a victory is beyond me.
I could...
Not only that, but he found the first and last kill of the round 2.
Like, if Wimpy just like didn't whiff, because I mean we gotta point at that too. Wimpy kind of whiffed. If Wimpy doesn't whiff there, and CZ too, if CZ gets the follow up, Reality TV probably don't win that round. Hat just 4K'd. The guy you whiffed on in the beginning of the round and put to 1 HP got 4 kills and single-handedly won his team the round. That is insane. And oh, I don't like. Okay, not a big fan of this decision from IF to go back to the top floor because they got trounced by Amonte last time, and their Amonte is being brought again. I'm worried.
I mean, they've got the toxic canisters. I don't know. Maybe it's a case of the short-term memory there for investigation file is not the best because, I mean, like you said, it was pretty decisive how it played out the last time. So whether or not they've adjusted the way they need to try and counteract it, we'll have to find out, of course. But I mean, this is a huge round. The investigation file are gambling here with the final round of regulation.
Excited to see where Mr. B goes. Surely he's not going to be able to just walk up the stairs and into the site again. He's going to have to be a little more tactful about it. Luckily, Reality TV have not lost any early bodies this time, thanks to a run out from Fish or so. Wimpy's still lurking down below. Probably more cognizant of his backside as well. Fish allows one of those attackers to slip through the gap, and he jumps downstairs and claps Hat! He gets traded out by Tristan, but the fact that he got a kill to begin with is amazing.
That was... as astounding as Hat jumping in and helping find 2 in that last round was just wild. The fact that Fish got away with that kill, just as wild. I thought he was dead to rights. Jumping off the balcony into the waiting arms of Hat, unfortunately, it's not the ideal situation. Mr. B this time. Impact EMP to try and isolate their player in the elevator once again. It's easy! The one tap onto Giddy, that's your hard breach gone. This is just a shambles.
Oh my god.
Bro, I think we're going to overtime.
The pistol comes out and downs Arrow, but it's no kill, no equalizer for Mr. B. He'll have to work a little harder than that. Tristan works his way down below, looking up the hatch. Trying, praying for a freebie right now to bring the man count back to even. Eventually nade the corner, but Wimpy hears it. He's got that sound cue. He evades the nade. No more explosives for Tristan, and working his way up towards the back. Might not be as unpredictable as it was in the round prior. Where's Valor in all of this? Still on the window rappel. He could be a linchpin as Tristan gets that kill, finishes off Arrow, and now his position is known. Wimpy's just in the corner. Valor and CZ both taking some heat. Valor makes his way in. Mr. B caps CZ. Wimpy's dead as well. And Reality TV have turned the tide in their favor. Mr. B drops the shield. He gets taken out. The trade attempt from Valor unsuccessful. But Tristan's there to bail out his team once again. Somehow, some way, Reality TV just won the map.
Oh my god, absolute shambles for the 7-5. I mean, it looked like Fish, that opening pick, was going to set themselves up for it, but once again, there's just absolutely zero answer to Mr. B and the Monty. He pushes up Banana. He doesn't even have to have a huge impact. He still finds a kill for himself, but it's that distraction factor that was so... They had to focus, and you saw it play out that last kill. He needed to take down Mr. B there to try and contest. He finds the follow-up, but there's a third player in that equation. And just from the back, the pistol comes out, and it's all done. That was, I mean, a soul-crushing way for IF to lose that map. But Reality TV absolutely hold on. They were brought to the absolute brink, but they remained steadfast and locked it out.
I can't believe that just worked. Mr. B Monty is truly a force to be feared on the battlefield. I'm at a loss for words. Reality TV, sure. I do have to say, they did not look as complete as they once did, but they also, in a lot of rounds, I think looked better than I thought they were going to. I think the clutch factor and the recovery factor is definitely still there with guys like Hat and Valor, who, you know, had hell of a game. I think Hat finished with 10 kills. My real highlight for this game, though, is Tristan. Tristan took I would say a good bit of time to get acclimated with their Reality TV roster in Stage 2 of Challenger League. And he always kind of took a back seat playing either a support op, like flank watch, stuff like that. But goddamn, did he show up today?
Look, as much as he's your highlight, but I'd almost have to give the standout player to Mr. B. I mean, the guy's leading by example. He's putting up the numbers. I mean, and for an IGL to be doing that, it's a rare thing. I mean, you
do that every stage.
Exactly. I mean, he was just. I mean, you look at as soon as he got in the Monty, you're sitting there thinking, I mean, it's a Monty. He's just there to distract. Drops the shield, but found what 4 or 5 kills for himself.
Something like that.
Just because he's got the shield in front of him does not mean he's not a threat.
Yeah, I think he got 3 kills and the down on Arrow. Like, it was that was some nasty Monty play. That gives Anatone a run for his money, you know. So Reality TV, I think, are still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Once they get the roster, you know, the new roster shakes out of the way, they could definitely be a top contender. But yeah, shout out to Tristan for putting up the numbers. I think 14 and 8. Shout out to Mr. B for that incredible Monty play and just being so consistent as an IGL. And we got to give it to CZ too. CZ did
CZ
like
was fried.
everything in his power to keep IF in that. I mean, responsible for the 3 rounds in a row that they won with those opening picks, the multi-kills he was getting. I mean, that one tap on the Giddy to kill the Ace 2 in that final round was crisp. Gotta hand it to CZ. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the support that we were looking for. Fish had a little bit of a slow game, and the other 3 on the roster, Wimpy, Inrio, and Arrow, were, they weren't doing terribly. Arrow was definitely towards the bottom of the roster, but it felt like in a lot of those rounds, they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, look, it is unfortunate, and look, you could justify it for Giddy in the first half. The rest of the team was just absolutely slaying out. It was at one point you had 3 players with 7 kills, 1 with 6, and then Giddy was sitting around 3. So you could understand it. But as it got later on, it was still a bit quiet. I mean, 2-9 by the end of the map. You look at the rest of the team; they still kept putting up numbers. In fact, Valor, look, he didn't stop, but he definitely plateaued a little bit. But, I mean, CZ, you got to look at it. 1.24, 13 and 9, 3 and 1 on the entries. He had a phenomenal game, and it's a real shame that they couldn't at least take it to overtime.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not enough to stop Tristan and the unstoppable Monty from Mr. B. And I got to say, the back push they did in that initial CEO round with Mr. B pushing it aside, I thought was brilliant. But I also didn't think it was going to work again. And then it did. Like, if you're looking at reality TV, if you're IF, right? Same situation. Reality TV lose 2 bodies really quickly. They force Mr. B into the side. Tristan pushes up the back. You get 2 kills again. Sure, you lost 1 with the castle, but like, you got to be ready for that. And yet Tristan he just pushed the back and found like another 3 kills. But I guess to learn about the deeper intricacies of that game and how the hell all that worked out, we have an interview prepped and ready with a member of reality TV, and I'll be damned if it's not Mr. B or Fettuccine, and it's Mr. B, Mr. British.
How we doing?
How good it is to see your face and talk to you again. Can you believe in Challenger League I'm not allowed to do interviews?
You're not allowed to do interviews.
No, it's all brimstone. So this is what I get to look forward to. We're back in T3. I get to do it again. Mr. B.
Lovely.
So we definitely noticed, right? Reality TV, you guys didn't look quite as complete as you did with Packer and Gavini. Of course, new roster shakes. It always happens. How long do you think it's going to take for you to be back in that driver's seat?
Well, we've had less than 2 weeks, so, I'm going to give us a little bit of break. First game day as well.
But,
understandable. I honestly, I don't think we showed our best today. I think we definitely had some struggles in places we probably shouldn't. Taking Archives Tellers seemed to be our true, like, Achilles heel, all right? That we just could not, we couldn't get that taken. But otherwise, I think, like, we showed a lot of why we're a solid team, and I think, yeah, you guys, it'll just take a little bit of time, and it'll come.
I definitely think like the recovery factor you guys had with Packer and Gavini is still there.
Yeah.
With Valor and Hat. 'Cause, I mean, we know Valor and Hat. Speaking of Hat, who made the call on the second, the second open area attack? Who made the call for him to swing into the double window in the first, like, 30 seconds? Did you tell him to do that, or did he just, when he killed Wimpy?
The double window?
Office. Well, it's not a double window. It's the 2 windows next to each other.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, that would have been whoever was with him, so probably Valor. Yeah. I handled, so for like that kind of push, it's for all 2 sides, I just handled me and Tristan. Valor's handling those 2, and then Giddy's on kind of a solo. Yeah. I
got you. Because Hat tried that last time and got killed by the Swiss cheese wall and janitor. He did it. So obviously, you didn't see.
Okay.
The only reason he lived is because both Wimpy whiffed and died, and then CZ also whiffed on his holes.
All right, I'll give him a stern talking to. All right, I'll let him know. Yeah, no, I that's unacceptable. I can't believe this. You guys need to get your. Can we swear here? You need to get your stuff together. Oh, oh God.
Yeah. That's okay, though. But, I mean, and then walk me through the 2 CEO attacks. I mean, that Monty play, I gotta say, especially that first round how did you just make it into the middle of the site?
Just walk, man. Just gotta walk. That's all this game's all about. Just gotta walk.
Especially with, I just don't understand how that, like, you didn't have any support.
No.
There was a dude, I don't even know where your team was. And then Tristan was coming up the back. And then how did Tristan hit the back and have it work again the second go
Well,
around?
it's because I keep so much pressure on me, right? Because unlike most people that play Monty, I kind of like have a brain, and like I know where everyone is, and I'm forcing them to look at me. Because if they don't, right, as you saw, I just killed them, right?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to just pull out my pistol and take the shot.
Yeah, I think that was really impressive. The fact you got the down on the early and then killed CZ too.
I know, I'm the best. It's all good. You don't have to worry about it.
But I mean, I certainly look forward. Again, like I told Aerial Arise, you guys, you looked good. You still got a ways to go.
100%.
So I'm really excited to see the growth of your team. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you in a couple days' time, Mr. B. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Love talking to you
One,
too.
the only, the British wonder, and I'll be looking forward to seeing more of your team.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
Look, I definitely saw a bit of Southeast Asian inspiration from the Monty, because Southeast Asia, believe it or not, absolutely love the Monty on their attack. So definitely played it much the same as we see a lot of the Apex South teams playing it.
Yeah, you said Southeast Asia. For a second, I thought you were going to talk about me, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our second game is now over and done with. We got 2 more. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break with Astralis versus 6 Karma.
On a double, though, and he finds a third